Welcome, everybody. It's Simon, Simon, Josh. We are Time Zones and Time Meters, weekly, bi-weekly podcast where we chuck it up on YouTube, discussing music that we love. Usually progressively themed. You know, we like our odd time signatures and our funky, not atypical music. But yeah, and we're going to be talking about that today, aren't we? How you been, bud? You
Yeah,
good?
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. It's summer in the Netherlands. I guess it's kind of winter for you.
Yeah, that's right. How
Uh,
what sort of temperatures are we talking where you are?
well, somewhere between like 25 and 30 degrees. It's been quite warm for
Yeah.
us
Okay.
and humid. Not so humid actually. It can be way worse here. But yeah, let's not. What were you then? Same.
It's currently 17 degrees where we are in the middle of winter. Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
So, or well, autumn or whatever we are in. And I think
mm,
we're getting down as low as about 8 degrees at nighttime where I live.
yeah, yeah,
That's Celsius
yeah.
for anyone watching in
hmm
crazy places
we
than
had
us
that
right now.
maybe a month ago or so.
Yeah, okay. It's funny, isn't it? Like you're like, oh my God, it's so hot. I'm like, that sounds like our
Yeah.
very moderate. And then I'm going, oh, yeah, it's pretty cold. And you're like, that's the temperature it is right now.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it's so contextual
Yeah.
because I mean, like I can go crazy that it's not enough summer days, but I'm also really a lover of sun and warmth, maybe more than the usual,
Swede.
well, Dutchy, but also Swede. Yeah, exactly. So, but maybe that's, maybe if I lived in Australia, I would not be as crazy about the sun and high
Yeah, I don't know.
temperatures.
I don't know. The
Who
other thing
knows?
too is our architecture supports it too. So it just like you guys have warmer houses than what we would, I'm sure. It means that when we get to these kind of temperatures, it's a bit chilly, and
Yeah.
that's because we our houses are not as warm as yours. That's for sure.
I remember when playing in this thrash band, Decadence, where we had a gig in Spain, which is quite warm. I mean, it's close, way closer to the equator than Sweden or the
Yeah.
Netherlands. And it was in January or so. And I remember because so usually, I mean, it kind of gets, well, also I don't know, maybe close to freezing in January at night there, but that's like the low temperatures.
Yep.
And since they have zero isolation there, I remember the whole band. Maybe I'm not supposed to say this. The whole band was like lying in a spoon, a big spoon, in this bed in the house that we were in because it was just so fucking cold because there's no isolation. Yeah, so that
So
was.
there you go. So you actually have experienced what it's probably a bit like here.
Yeah,
Um,
probably. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, how's about we talk music? What have you been listening to this month, my friend? Anything
Yeah,
good?
so
Do you think it's been a
yeah,
good
sure.
month?
It's been a good month, absolutely. I'm only going to talk about some of the music I listen to. I got like three themes here. I'll go with the first theme.
Yeah.
I saw on my Instagram, popped up a bunch of times, like artists promoting themselves saying, uh, "Get my new album for free. We'll just pay for the shipment and we'll send you the album." I'm guessing you didn't get it because probably it's like a European affair because otherwise this shipment thing would be, yeah, I'll pay 20 euros in shipment and I could
Yeah.
also just buy the album from somewhere for 15 maybe. But
Yeah.
yeah, so one of those artists that spoke to me was like a band with a rock band with violin solo, very like energetic. I thought, okay, I, I gotta try this. And yeah, lo and behold, for just a shipment, I got this album, a
Is
live
that
album from
Flying Circus?
Flying Circus. Do you know
Yeah.
them?
Nope.
Oh
Just
yeah.
I just read the cover.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. So this is a live album. So they say also this is not on streaming. You have to indeed order it from them. And I have to say, like especially like the thing that I really enjoyed on their little preview was the violin stuff, and that's I wish every song had a violin solo because that is really the high point of this. It's somewhere in, between I don't know, maybe Zeppelin and Hard Rock Rush or something like it. Like it's more classic rock than prog in this case. But indeed, the violin really heightens it. They're German, and also yeah. So I guess my real point here is like if that pops up in your feed, you know, do it because there was even some trouble with the address. They had to send it twice, which they did. you know, Probably on my end because knowing myself. Um, the other I paid even less for because it was a uh,
They
well,
paid you? Does that mean they paid you?
almost, almost. um, it was King's Day in the Netherlands, so like the King's birthday, and then they always have like this um, market stuff, like people put like garage sales ish things, So you have a street where everybody's selling their old junk, and someone was selling this old junk for €1. Dream Theater's, is it third album? I think no, fourth album, fourth album. So um, they of course had with their second album, which was Images and Words. They of course had this monster hit with Pull Me Under that made it, on MTV. And with their second album, sorry, the third album, Awake, they didn't really have a radio hit. So the label was pushing them to make a bit more radio friendly stuff. And that's where they released this one. Um, and because of that, especially Mike Portnoy has been known to kind of hate on this album a bit. So it doesn't always get the love that it deserves, I think, because I think it's an excellent album. It has maybe some more ballad stuff on it than the usual Dream Theater album, but it's all good. It's all good. I mean, and it's also like what I kind of realized is I didn't have this as a physical copy back in the days, and so I probably listen to it more now than then, and there's a lot of those songs on here that I haven't like that I still have stuff to unpack of, which is
Yeah.
kind of uncommon for Dream Theater and me. So I was very happy with this. Like yeah, like New Millennium, Peruvian Skies, and indeed just that intro sort of to Lines in the Sand. It's actually a 4-minute instrumental that precedes it. Hell's Kitchen, it's called. Also like super fun. It's just like building up for 4 minutes, and then comes Lines in the Sand. Very natural follow, and indeed Trial of Tears. That's like the epic on here, which is for them kind of a shorter epic with 13 minutes, but a very cool one. Um, of course, Lines in the Sand is probably the best track on here. One of their maybe top 10 tracks in their career, I think. So yeah, this is great stuff. This is great stuff, and the only one that features Derek Derek Sherinian on on the Sherinian on the keyboards, who of course is in OSI.
I think so.
Yeah, um, he's also on a live album by them that they gave up after this, but this is the only studio album that he's on.
Yeah,
So
cool. It's maybe worth me
those were
checking out.
yeah, those were the only new CDs I had. I will not showcase all the LPs I had because there was a bunch this month. But what have you been listening to? Did you have a
Um,
good listening month?
yeah, it's been a good one. I've been reviewing some of the old stuff from last year that we were checking out because we want to do a bit of a review later on, and see whether
Yeah,
or not our predictions or what we thought was the best albums of 2025 were in actual fact that. So I was checking some of those things out. But among those plays, I've been listening to quite a few new albums actually, and some of them I was very excited about. But probably the first one to start with would be I'd never heard of this band. It's called Shagohod. Shagohod. And
That
they
sounds
released,
familiar.
yeah, it's got a picture
Yeah,
of
wait,
like,
what is that not a Final Fantasy monster?
I don't know, it looks like to me like a fox upside down with like a snake coming out of its mouth or something. But the album's called A Curse That Hides the Door.
No, it's the Metal Gear Solid.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay. I've got nothing. But in saying that, this is a like I think they're an American prog rock band, very indie. And they're a duet. That's how much like research I did. I just found out they're a duet. And look, they've got mixed vocals, so there's a lot of clean vocals, but there's also a little bit of sort of growly stuff. It's kind of rock, kind of metal. It's pretty darn experimental, actually. It has some really cool stuff in it. I saw a recommended write up about them saying that if you like the Deer Hunter, Coheed and Cambria, Baroness, or the Proto Men, who I obviously have heard of, I thought, well, I should check this out because they recommended people that enjoy those bands too. And so, look, this is early days. I think something this eclectic requires a few plays to work out like, do I like that or is that just different? And so I'm sort of digging it at the moment, but look, I recommend it. I reckon it's worth checking out. And for those people that like their sort of progressive music to be a little adventurous, and something that's maybe difficult to put into words, I would definitely check this out. I think it's worth having a look at it. The artwork is by Angela Casey, apparently. I just found out. And here's the interesting thing you just said there. Um, this is an eclectic concept prog chowder, is what I just read by a review. So it's all over the place, but they decided to start a band during a drunken Metal Gear Solid binge. So you, my friend, might be
Yeah,
correct
well,
with the name. There you go.
yeah, I mean, the Shagohod was a hybrid screw-propelled vehicle designed by Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov to serve as a mobile nuclear ballistic missile system. In
Give me
which one
more.
is it? Metal
Give.
Gear Solid 3. It's from. So it's a Soviet Union nuclear armed tank
Yeah, right.
in
Okay.
that game.
Well, look, Coffey, and I think it's Drew Bly. They're
Oh,
the guys
Snake Eater. Yeah,
that
exactly. It's
do
from
this.
Snake Eater. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Yeah.
So Dave Coffey and Drew Bly, they're the guys that do this, and I think they're both creative, adventurous, and pretty cool. And they have some real talent. They're instrumentalists, and they've built some cool layers in there. So check it out. Did you want me to keep going with maybe one or two other things before we
Yeah,
jump across to you?
just want to mention that I was on Reddit, like on the leprous subreddit, and then they talked about like what the next leprous could contain, and
Yeah.
it seemed like there can be like those ideas that were a little bit too far out for the concept of melodies of atonement, that those might be used for their next one. And then someone made the comment, um, they want the next Leprous album to be so different that you don't know if you like it at first, you know. And maybe that is, I had to think about that with your description there. Like sometimes that's really, when it's so far out, you don't know if you like it the first time, or so different, or weird, whatever. I mean, that's fun, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
that's
then just
that's
hope that it survives a second listen, and some contemplation.
yeah, that's right. And I've probably played it through like it's 33 individual plays on my records here. So I played it through three or four times, like three and a half times through.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
so I think that's early days. I know that you probably think that's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no,
but
totally.
but for me
Of
that's
course.
that's there.
Yeah, totally. But did you spend more time with Einar since
Yeah,
last?
so I'm definitely have. I think I've played it through since our last review, maybe like two or three times, maybe three or four times more. And I love it. I think it's great. I think
Yeah,
it's a really strong album, I think, and I
yeah.
enjoyed it
I think it even grown on me
a bit more.
more as well. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool.
But yeah,
So no, I definitely been continuing that one, so that's a good thing to bring up probably. And Yeah, so that's actually been quite enjoyable, that part of it. Look, I checked out a band. I have Marie who came on the show a while back when we did the Vola discography. She recommended that I check out a band called Port Noir, um, and Portnoir. And so she brought this up ages ago, and I didn't, or maybe I heard one or two songs and didn't jump into it. But I also spoke to about going to see Vola live. And when I went to see Vola live, I ran into this guy who I just spoke to you about like previously. Go check out that episode as well. But he recommended and said this band is phenomenal, and you should definitely go check them out. So eventually, I've got round to checking them out because I put them on my list, and they're really interesting. So they've just released a brand new album called The Dark We Keep, and I saw one or two reviews for it, which people were raving about, and they're saying like this could be a album of the year contender kind of thing. And so I thought to myself, well, here's a great opportunity to listen to it. So I listened to that quite a bit, and I've also then been told since that it's not as good as some of their other stuff. So I went to check that out too. And the albums are definitely a bit different. So each album has a different sort of maybe motive. Like they get a little bit, they sort of jump around all over the place. But just probably to stick on this album, The Dark We Keep, I would say it's genty. It's melodic vocals, generally speaking, a little bit of growling, and it's got like heavy riffs. It's got some really really like it's got some cool stuff in there that's um, like it's just easy to listen to, I guess is a way to put it. And so it's an easy one to chuck on in the background and probably enjoy. So I have been putting that on in the background. I have been enjoying it. I think the down-tuned guitars will probably be something you'd be like, yeah, I'm a bit over it. And they're not doing anything groundbreaking, but it's done pretty professionally. And the closest band I can think of that it reminded me of, and this is where people will go, what the hell? It's got this modern sensibility, a little bit more like Sleep Token. But the vocalist doesn't sound anything like the guy from Sleep Token, but it's just got something about it that's a certain quality. And I think these guys are trying to experiment a little bit with different grooves and stuff. There's a bit of some hip hop influences for sure in their previous album, but this one does sit into that sort of progressive metal ish kind of vibe. And I've played it a lot. And so I played it through 13 times. So I've played it more than I've played at Einar. So I guess, but maybe because it's a bit easier to listen to, and it's a kind of thing you can chuck on at the gym, or you can like chuck it on like in mode more often than not. So look, maybe that's worth checking out. And it's definitely up there at the moment with one of my more preferred albums that's been released this year. So I think it's kind of cool. Maybe a little bit more like Royal Sorrow as well, but less poppy.
I have a terrible segue. You mentioned Vola, and there's a guitar band called Vola Guitars. I found this out because there was little bit of misunderstanding on Reddit, but um, not the guitarist from Vola, but a guy who plays Vola guitars. His name is Pierre Danel. He plays in a couple of other bands actually. Um, Cardinia Novelists and Sal3M.xc. But he plays those guitar solos, those wonderful guitar solos on Einar's new
Yeah, right.
studio album.
Did you say the
Really love it.
novelists? Did you say novelists?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I've heard of those guys
novelists or
before.
the novelist. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that looks super interesting and
Probably
great
also a little
guitars.
bit of that genre.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
for sure.
absolutely.
So, as well as doing Port Noir, I've also been doing the Carmen Yaka as well, or Carmen Jaka, however you want to pronounce it. Have you heard of them before? Have I brought them up before on this show? So,
You mentioned them before. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
you have, yeah.
yeah, okay. So I've been doing their album Diamond Morning, and that's my most played album this month. So I've delved into that a fair bit, and although I didn't like them at first, um, I wasn't sure about the sounds, and I didn't think that highly of them. My brother had sent me and shown me them before, and I was like, yeah, I can kind of see what you like about it, but now I'd sort of take it back in that it's got this like droning guitar work in it, which is really quite cool and very unique sounding. And so that I think style took a little bit to sort of gel with me, but it just gets stuck in my head. And so I find myself going back to it, wanting to listen to it just because it continues to replay, rent free in my mind. So I'm really enjoying that as well. So yeah, they're probably the well, that's probably enough of me for a bit. I've got another three albums to bring up, but how's about I just throw it to you and we'll give you a chance to talk about your next category, shall we?
Sure, sure. Okay, so my next category is, I mentioned it last time when we did our reaction video. I mentioned I had been listening to Hungarian Prog, so I thought I would show you these albums because I came across three Hungarian Prog albums from like yeah, mid 70s to 80s. Um, so two from this band, Locomotive GT. Uh, this is the other one. Um, and it's I think it's kind of like difficult to oh yeah difficult to say what is up and up what is done with this one. Oh, you're muted.
It's all good. I was
Yeah.
basically saying like,
So
wow, that's funky. It's upside down. Um, anyway,
yeah.
don't worry.
So this one is called Loxy, and this one is called Ellen Felnelkel. Don't ask me if I'm how to pronounce it. And yeah, it's very like cool stuff. Difficult to explain exactly. Like I get the feeling that it's something that worked commercially in Hungary, but it's very like artistically in like has a lot of artistic integrity and very like iconic stuff. I it just gives that sense of like wow I'm transported to like a you know park open air festival where people of all ages go in the 90s or something like it it transport me to a time and a place
What
that
do
are
you mean
only
though? So
vague in my
what's the soundscapes given off? Like what sort of music
like
is this like?
yeah, the thing is like it sounds a little bit like music from the 70s, early 80s sounded in Sweden as well. Like uh, like it's kind of like you have these prog adjacent bands from that time that were like how everything was a little bit prog adjacent in the 70s, like also like the classic rock artists. Um, it's difficult to explain. Yeah, I think you just have to
Just look it
check it
up.
out. So Locomotive GT, yeah, and then also like I think the main guy from there, yeah, I sorry I cannot remember which name is of who, but he was also before in another known Hungarian band that was called Omega or Omega 8 because they have an 8 after the name because that's the, Omega symbol, that infinity symbol. Um, and this is like the best album cover of all time or the worst, depending if you have humor or not. Um,
Look at that hair.
yeah.
All of them are perfect.
Yeah. So so I can only assume that this is a little bit tongue in cheek.
Uh,
Um, yeah, but it's funny. It's funny. The album like it's this one is kind of classic prog sounding with their own touch. I don't think it sounds like oh this sounds like Pink Floyd or oh this sounds like Genesis. Like none of those British equivalents.
Yeah. So
Well,
while we are
uh,
talking about the Hungarian stuff, do you remember we did a little bit of a listen to the Broken Strings, who are apparently like a Hungarian French progressive rock band in a previous project? Well, the one of the guys from there, his name is Josef. He wrote to me and just kind of said like, "Oh, just by the way, the thing that you reviewed is probably not our most typical sort of sound, and he offered a few other songs to maybe check out as kind of a better flagship sort of video or track, and so it was kind of cool,
yeah,
but just to, they were talking about like sort of Hungarian sounds and stuff as well because they were from there. So I thought it was really interesting, and I just wanted to put a bit of a shout out to them as well. So so
yeah.
as I said,
Did you listen to that stuff?
yeah, I checked it out. I checked out the uh, Hidden Door was recommended, and also The Other Side, which is a video on YouTube, which you guys would be able to check out if you wanted to as well. Um, and I had a little bit of a look at them, just a few links that were sent to me as well. So I thought they were kind of cool, and I think Joseph is right in that it probably is better for you to check out those tracks instead of the one that we checked out because they are a bit different. So maybe have a look at that, you guys. Look, they're obviously really talented musicians, and it's especially because we talked about them previously. I thought, oh, maybe we've done them a bit of a disservice, maybe because it was very candid. For those of you in the background who might watch our stuff, like especially the reaction videos, we haven't like we want to get like a candid review and be able to be sort of live and you to see our impressions. So I really appreciate him reaching out and telling us about it. So anyway, just thought I'd pass
Yeah,
it on, and
very
that's one
nice
thing I
guys.
checked out
Yeah,
too. Yeah. Um, so should I jump into another one? Did you
sure, go
finish
ahead.
your section? So your second section was like Hungarian.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. So the next one, look, this one here, I was a little bit taken aback by this, and this is really fresh. So to me, I only just checked it out recently. It's a band called Elder, Elder. And I heard that they were going to be releasing an album soon. And so I looked at, like, I did their previous album, the one that was released a few years ago, and I totally dug this. I was like, oh shit, this is cool. And it's different. It's kind of got this like psychedelic
Which one? Which
grungy.
one is that? Which one is that?
The one that I
Because
checked out was In It Passage to start with. And then since then, they have released Through Zero. And so I've listened to In It Passage a few times, which is what made me go, yep, this is cool. And I can't wait for their new release. And then the new release did not disappoint. It's been fantastic. So I've, or at least I'm really loving it, and it's something that I'm really enjoying putting on repeat. So it's sort of grungy. It's kind of a bit psychedelic in weird ways. They have some really rockin' like bass things that go on, and I don't know, like it just vibes right for me. And I haven't got too many things that sound like this in my music library for what it's worth. So I'm sold. I'm sold on this band. They're kind of cool. And I
yeah,
anticipate I'm going to listen to them a lot next month.
yeah, I spent some time with Elder, like with several of their releases, because it's kind of a band that changed a lot since their debut.
Right.
Like they had, well, they debuted in 2008 with the self-titled album. And then in 2011 there was Dead Roots Stirring. That one I listened a bunch to, but that one is like um, stoner
Yeah.
metal-ish,
Yeah.
like kind of like Dope Smoke or something like that. So, which is very different from I've listened to an EP from 2019, the Gold and Silver Sessions, and that one was like very laid back, psychedelic, more in the vein of like some old, like those late 60s Pink Floyd stuff, almost kind
Yeah.
of like that.
Yeah.
And but still in like a lot of odd time meters, and like that it has like kind of that awkward groove, but still groovy. um and then I understand that Innate Passage, like, is the one that where they maybe combined this and made it and perfected it, and I have not gotten to that one. And I kind of forgotten about them. And nice that you bring them up. Okay, so yeah, indeed. I also saw that they are releasing a new album, or it is already released. This Through Zero.
So it's cool, man. Like I like it, and I did do a bit of a, by the way, a bit of a scattergun as well. So I have heard stuff from like their other albums. I think there's like quite a few, but I had a look at
Yeah.
those, and that's I would say that their newer one maybe isn't quite as like psychedelic as some of the older stuff. But I don't know, man. Like it's good. I'm sold on it. It kind of reminded me a little bit of a band that I saw last year at one of the festival things that I did. What were they called? Mushroom Giant, who I've put on my to listen to and really explore their discography. And so this maybe resonated a little bit better than what the Mushroom Giant stuff did, but I'm definitely gonna be listening to a lot more of those two bands when I get there. Okay, Tag. Do you have another crack?
They
What else you got?
also, I gotta say,
Oh,
they also did an EP, I believe, together with the band Cadaver. Um, that was also that one was also pretty good. If you know the Cadaver, there's a German band.
I read that they've
Uh,
been around for 21 years. Is that right too? Like formed in
yeah,
2005.
2011, 2008 is their first studio album.
Yeah, okay.
Or are you talking about Cadaver or about
Elder.
Elder? Yeah,
Elder, yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, and but they not been releasing very, or like they
Regularly.
didn't release a lot of studio albums. Uh, they have a bunch of EPs as well. So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Well, anyway, okay. So I'll go to my last section,
Yep.
which is starts out with me helping a friend building a house. So he's building the house from scratch, and then his father also came to help him. So we were the three of us, and his father is also has a massive record collection, and we talked a lot about these classic 70s bands that I love, and so at that point it became more talk than work almost, and he had a
The
bunch
house
of
fell down.
doubles. Yeah, exactly. No, and then all of a sudden he gave me a bunch of LPs that he had double,
Wow.
and super cool because like some of this stuff is like stuff that I was planning on buying even. uh, but also some stuff that I wasn't planning on buying, like his maybe stuff that is a bit more blues oriented than what I would usually pull the trigger on, like this one from Nils Lofgren, which was like, because I'm not a big blues guy, because I think a little bit like I hear one blues um, track or album, and then it feels a little bit like I heard it all because it's all in the same, blues pentatonic scale. I always get the feeling like you can only do so much with it, but still, like this one, quite enjoyable. This one that is like more of an eight, like yeah, I guess late 70s, early 80s. Which year is it from? Oh, late 80s even, which is um, um, Jimmy Page Outrider. It is a little bit in the vein of, if you think Deep Purple's Stormbringer, like that is a little bit the sound that it has. Uh, that one I was pleasantly surprised by. This one is maybe the one I looking forward to the most to listening to, because I have not listened to it yet, and that's UK's second album, Danger Money. I only listened to UK's first album, so this is like when we're talking about those super bands, super groups. Uh, this is featuring Eddie Jobson, John Wetton, of course King Crimson, right? Terry Bozzio. It's actually only 3 guys on this one. I believe it's a different lineup than the first UK album, because didn't that one feature doesn't matter. What was that? This Brainbox?
Yep.
Brainbox. So Dutch kind of proggy fusion. He does feature Pierre van der Linden, which is the drummer of Focus. Also Jan Akkerman, who's the guitarist of Focus. So like Focus adjacent. This one is from, I don't know, 70s.
Awesome.
This is like a staple in my like one of those formative records for me. Deep Purple, yeah, and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. I believe I had this. I got this one as like one of my first CDs, and then it featured a bunch of like conventional Deep Purple songs, like "Child in Time" and "Ring That Neck," and like 2 more. And like my dad got this because I really wanted to get into hard rock metal, like as heavy stuff possible, and my dad maybe wanted me to get into the more classical stuff. And I mean, this is featuring an orchestra, and so I spent most of the time listening to the first half of that album, which had like the more classic rock stuff, and really liked it, and was like having trouble to get into the orchestra stuff. However, in later years, I really appreciated the orchestra stuff, because like they blend that with the band, and it's very proggy, or proggy, like symphonic rock. It's like one long composition, like a classical composition, where the band comes in, and so if you like this epic 70s stuff, and you don't mind classical music, I mean, this one is a killer. And actually, like, the CD is better because you also get like this classic Deep Purple tracks, which are not on this LP version. So I understand that it maybe doesn't get quite the love from the Deep Purple fans as it should have. And I know that this was also like something that almost broke the band up, because I think it was John Lord who was like pushing for this, doing this classical collaboration, and the other guys in the band hated it, and was going like, if we continue in this direction, we're gonna quit it, but they didn't, luckily for all the Deep Purple fans. But I wouldn't have minded if they did do more of this stuff. I think, like, this is, of course, nostalgia plays a role here, but I mean, I really love it. When we talk about those blues records that I think everything sounds a little bit the same, then I have to put this one, the London Howlin' Wolf Sessions. This is like with Eric Clapton, Bill Wyman, Charlie Watts, Steve Winwood. Actually, uneducated me don't know who it is, but Howlin' Wolf is like, I guess, one of those classic blues singers and guitarists. I don't know. This like, when you think blues, this is what you think. I don't know, man. This one, White Noise, I had not heard of. I would say this falls in the category of like those ambient. Uh, let's do acid, and
Yeah, okay.
like kind of like Amagama's first half. I mean, I don't mind it, but Lou Reed, I never got into. I don't know if this album really helped me all that much with getting into him. Sweet Smoke. I need to listen to more of this one, I cannot really actually say anything about it. This one was also a little bit more like a blues classic rock. There was probably some more stuff in here as well, but yeah. So I mean, very cool collection of stuff to go through, and they're all great condition. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And look, it's an eclectic mix, isn't it? So it's obviously a big music lover who's
Yeah,
hitting
yeah,
all
yeah,
those.
yeah,
So yeah, that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
I wanted to sort of finish today's stuff, or at least the stuff that I went through with. I had a look at Crown Lands Apocalypse. Have
Oh
you
yeah,
heard of this? Like,
yeah.
there's a few people who online are reviewing this and saying it's great, and this one's very 70s vibe, like prog, or at least that's the
Are you
impression I
asking if I
got.
heard of Crown Lands?
Specifically, not so much if you've heard of them, but like, but they've just released this album
Okay,
called
okay,
Apocalypse, and so
yeah,
for me,
yeah.
it's
I
a
heard the 20 minutes epic title track. I've heard that one like two, three, four times, something like that.
yeah, cool. What did you think?
I have not heard the rest of the album. Pretty cool. It's kind of what I expected from them, I would say. I don't think it's that different from what they released in 2024. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit in limbo whether I should check it out more or not.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check it out more for sure. I thought it was a good playthrough the first time. I think it sits outside of my wheel. Like, it's more you and your style, I think, than mine. But in saying that, but
Definitely.
that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring it up is to kind of say, have you had a chance to check it out yet? Because I thought you might like it. But look, I enjoyed it, and so I'll go back to that because I like to have diversity in what I'm listening to. I'm a very moody listener. But yeah, so I'll definitely check that out a bit more. And I'm a little bit look. There's lots and lots of prog reviewers out there who are saying it's great, so it could be worth checking that out. For my last one, though, my very last one, which I have absolutely adored, is Advent Horizon has released Falling Together, and I am in love with this album. I really, really, really enjoying it. So I downloaded a digital copy when they put it out, and I've had a chance to go through it quite a few times now. I think I'm at about 10 times, and I just love this album. I think it's fantastic. I think the Face Window is great. Um, the epic 19-minute epic is one of the easiest 19-minute epics I've ever listened to as well. I think it's great. One thing that's interesting in this album is they have a bit of growling, and they, from my knowledge, have not done that sort of stuff before. So they kind of have this funny mix of, you've got, I think his name's Riley's the lead singer. You've got his wife as well, who sings in it as well, who's got a very beautiful voice, and then you've kind of got some growls, and so it all sort of comes together in this big sort of package. And I think it's got some, I don't know, it's got that strong metal vibe at times, but it's a very rocky kind of album instead. So it's kind of it has movement, and it's got a lot of cool direction, which I really enjoy. I think Gravity One and Gravity Two are a fantastic like thing together. Um, yeah, man, I like this a lot. I think this album's gonna be right up there for me in terms of one of my favorite albums. It's definitely one of the favorite ones I've listened to this year, and that's up there with like your Carnivals, and that's up there with like quite a few fantastic sort of releases this year. So I'm kind of really liking it, and I think yeah, it's cool. So I don't know. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the rest of this year because I've got such a big variety of different sounds. We're very close to, well, we've finished the fifth month. So we're finished the fifth month, right? So
Yeah.
that's we're close to halfway, and so I'm going to be interested to see like who's going to sort of edge their way out, and also think about like Big Train, like Woodcut was great. Man, I don't know. Like, there's been so many different albums from all over the place that I think are wonderful, and this one's going to be competing with the best of them, I think. So, anyway, maybe we should do that album review if you are interested, my friend. maybe.
Sure.
Yeah. So, was there anything else that you wanted to bring up? Any other
Yeah,
things? You're done?
whatever, man. I'm getting stuck. I'm
That's all
getting
right.
slow. I'm looking for words again. Let's
That's all right.
let's
Let's
wrap
call
it
it.
up.
Let's call it. All right. Well, for all of you who are still tuned in and listening to us prattle, thanks for joining us today. Please like, subscribe, send this to your friends if you think they'd be interested in it. We really appreciate you guys sort of helping us out if you can. Yeah, till next time. Peace out. See you guys later.
Yes, man.
Bye.